Hey guys, it's Miss Shaw. Now, today I am going to make just rice. What it is one of my students that I have been teaching requested about a few months ago if I could make a video on just cooking rice because they had a difficult time. They didn't know how to do it and stuff. So the first thing is you get your rice. There's different types of rice. This is, I think, you have to cook it. It'll take a little longer. There's 5-minute rice where it just takes 5 minutes to make. You just put the packet in a boiling water and it's made, or it's cooking. This one you're going to have to, it takes a little longer. Now, excuse me, sometimes we have something called a rice cooker, which means we put the rice in, put the water in, and let it go. Well, I don't have that, so instead, I see one of my hairs out. Gotta put it back around. So instead, I'm making just rice, okay? So the first thing you do is always read the directions. Now, I've made rice before in another video. I am making rice at the same time I am making something else. And something's saying like pop up. Okay, so here's what we do. You take your rice and we're going to measure it. This says 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. So going back on our math that I taught the kids a few months ago along with another teacher, it's called ratio. 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. Now this also said put it in a 3-quart pot. Why are we using a 3-quart pot? Well, because when we're boiling the rice, we don't want the water getting all over the place, and we don't want to be doing a lot of cleanup. So you go, well, excuse me for a second. How do I know that a pan is 3 quarts? Now you can do above 3 quarts. You can do a 4-quart, which is a gallon. But if you ever have to do it, it is on the bottom of the pan, okay? I have different pans here. I'm going to move down a little bit. Okay. This is a 1-quart pan. I look for it and it will say like right here. Sometimes you got to really find it. It's like this little teeny tiny marking. It says 1 QT. That means 1 quart. Okay. This one I looked at, this is a 2-quart pan, okay? And you look underneath and it will say 2 QTs. It's like actually indented in the pan. Okay. This one here got burnt. And sometimes it's a little tough to find it, okay? So I kept looking for it. And I have to take my glasses off. Unfortunately, I'm getting a little older that I have to start having reading glasses, or I have to take stuff off to see things. Which usually means like sometimes when you see adults take their glasses off, it's because they can see up close but they can't see far away. Or the glasses aren't like designed for it. This is bigger than this. So this is a 3-quart pot. It could be 4 quarts. I'm not really too sure, but it is bigger than my 2-quart pot, and it's okay to use. So, I, ahead of time, measured out my water of 2 cups of water. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pot, put it right here. And the reason why they say 3-quart container is because, as I said a little bit earlier, I think, is when the water starts boiling, we don't want to make it a mess, okay? So I'm going to put my water in here. And you notice I didn't turn this on because you're going to make it all together. I'm going to get my 1 cup of rice. And sometimes you can do it like where you scoop it in I don't know if I can do that, but maybe I might be able to. Yep, it might be. This one I might be able to. If not, you just pour it right into the container. Now I'm shaking it just a little bit to get the rice, any of the extra rice off without making a mess, okay? So this is my 1 cup of rice. I'm going to pour it right in. Okay? And it's hydrating the rice, so we're going to cook it. So it says combine 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water in a 3-quart saucepan. Bring the content to a boil and then reduce heat. So bring it to a boil, which means put it on high. Leave it alone until it boils. So you might want to stay put. That's also a great time if you're making something else. If you're making it on a stovetop, at this time you can start cooking it, or if you're putting something in the oven. Now, I always make what I bake, or I eat what I cook. So I'm actually going to be having something else with it. Okay? So I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to wait for it to boil. Turn it up on high, wait for it to boil, and then as soon as I see it boiling, I will start this right back up again and we will continue on with the rest of the video. Okay, everybody, this is starting to boil, so I'm going to let it boil for a second or two. So when I say boiling, it's starting to make bubbles, okay? So what we're going to now do is we're going to turn this down to low, okay? And if you can, you probably won't be able to see. The reason it's a 3-quart pan is because when it starts bubbling, it's rising up to the surface. So the 3-quart pan doesn't allow the water to come out. So it gives it enough room for the bubbles to come up, but it can't go up fast enough. So you're not making a mess, okay? So I'm just going to stir this. Now you might go, why didn't you add any salt or oil to this? You don't need to. But the reason I'm stirring it is so that the rice doesn't stick to the bottom. So I'm just going to do a little stir. Okay, and if I remember correctly, here's the rice thing. You are going to cook this, I think it's for 15 to 20 minutes. Now that will be perfect because I put salmon in the oven. Oh no, excuse me. I put salmon in the oven like about 4 minutes ago. So when this started, I took out, I put it in, and I set the timer for 20 minutes. So this rice and my salmon will be done at the same time. Now, you're going, what are you talking about? So when that timer goes off, that will be done. Okay? And a lot of times, you're almost all set. So I'm going to pause this again, and when the timer goes off, this will come off too, and we will have our meal. So I'll show you the rice. Alrighty, my salmon is done. I'm going to leave it in the oven for a little bit longer. The heat is off just to keep it warm. Now we turn this off the countertop, the stove, and what we do is you can take a fork or a spoon. I'm going to take a fork. I'm going to try to show you. And what we do is we fluff it. Okay? So I'm just kind of showing you. So we're fluffing it. We're kind of like putting the water in it, get some air into it, make it fluff up. Okay? Now, if you think it's not done enough, just leave it. Even if you forked it up, it might be overdone. Usually it's sticking together. So when it sticks together, it usually means it's done. Okay? I'll put it right here to kind of plate it, just to kind of show you. And I do this just to kind of get the rice. You take a spatula or a spoon, do something called the scrape method. That's what I call it. So you can scrape out the rice, and you have just made yourself rice. Now, some of you might say, Michelle, I already know how to do this. Well, if you do, great. Or you may say, hey, I use a rice cooker. Well, okay. How about if your rice cooker goes, this is another way to make it. Okay? And this is the way I make it at my house because I don't have a rice cooker, but I do have pots, I have a stove, I have water, and I can make rice. So, get this rice looking good for its photo shoot. So, there you go. I just made rice. Now, yes, I'm going to have salmon too. So, will I eat up all this rice today? No. It will probably be put into the refrigerator, and for this week, I will be eating rice and salmon. So, take care, everybody. Enjoy, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye. Oh, and don't forget to do your work, guys. And that's for all of my students watching this.